Hello, I'm Daryl Foy, and welcome to Pathview Networks. Today, we'll be working on ticket 004, intermittent network connectivity at the branch office. Hello, network team. We are receiving reports of intermittent network connectivity issues at the branch office. Details: multiple users affected, devices mixed, laptops and desktops. Issue: users report network drops intermittently. Connectivity returns after a short period. Troubleshooting performed. Users confirm cables are connected. Devices have been rebooted. Issue persists across multiple users. Additional information. Issue began earlier today. No confirmed changes to the environment. Please investigate and advise. All right, so in this ticket, what's standing out is connectivity returns after a short period. Issue persists across multiple users. So this is a network-wide issue. So this is not just an individual device or user, right? So let's jump into this and we're going to take a look and see what we can find out. So first we'll look at some of the user devices and see what we get coming from the user end. So we'll look at Alex Jones' computer and we'll pull up the command prompt. So on Alex Jones' computer, what we'll do is find out the gateway and we'll ping the gateway. This will tell us some information about the local LAN, the local network, right? So let's do IP config space /all. Okay. And the gateway is 10.30.10.1. So we'll do a continuous ping to the gateway, which should be on the router, right? So let's run that. Okay, so we have a continuous ping going to the gateway. Looks good so far. Now let's go into Malik Johnson's computer and see if we can run a continuous ping to the internet. So we'll do to Google's DNS. We'll do another continuous ping. So ping-t 8.8.8.8. And we'll run that to Google's DNS on Malik's computer. Excuse me. Okay, so that's timing out. Okay, so the ping to the local router, the gateway, is steady. So we're not established any pings out. Oh, here we go. So now we have pings out to the internet. So it's looking continuous right now. And you know what? We'll run another continuous ping. We'll use Albert's computer. So we'll have 3 pings going here. We have one to the gateway, one to Google DNS, and then we'll also have one going to, let's go to the Google website. Oh, let me do a continuous ping. So ping-t google.com. So it looks like everything's steady right now. So the ping to Google, the continuous ping to google.com is steady. The ping to Google DNS is steady. So we're getting out to the internet, and the continuous ping to the gateway has been steady. All right. So far, so good. Everything is looking pretty good. All right. So now we're seeing some drops on the internet pings. As you can see, Malik was pinging the Google DNS 8.8.8. Malik is dropped, and Albert is dropped from pinging google.com. But Alex continuous ping to the gateway looks good. So it looks like the LAN connections are fine. But to confirm this, let's take a look at the switch just to see what we find out. All right. So the connections look good here. So let's jump on the switch. See if there's anything going on. So we'll do we're in the branch switch. So we'll do a show interface status. All right. So all the connections look good. And we have interface gig 1/01. That's a trunk port going to the branch router. So let's take a look at that. So we'll do a show interface gig 1/01. See if we see any errors and anything on the interface. Which should be good because we had a continuous ping from Albert's, or was it Alex's computer. Well, we have a continuous ping going to the router, so that looks good. No output drops on this interface. No errors. It's the interface resets, but I think that's a packet tracer issue. So yeah. So also let's take a look at spanning tree. Even though we have only one switch at the branch office, we'll take a look at spanning tree to identify to see if any users have plugged in any type of other switches at their desk ports. So if there is, we should see some issues with spanning tree. So we'll run a show spanning tree and we'll look and see what we have here. So in spanning tree, as long as our switch is saying this bridge is the root on all the VLANs, we are good to go. So on VLAN 1, this bridge is the root. Nobody should be using VLAN 1 because that's the default VLAN. So the corporate VLAN is on VLAN 10. So spanning tree says this bridge is the root as well. Let's look at VLAN 20, also the root on this switch. VLAN 40, this bridge is the root. VLAN 70, this bridge is the root. So we're good. Spanning tree is looking very good, and the interface going to the router is looking good so far. So let's do a show logs as well. So we'll do a show logging to see if anything stands out here. So we see some flapping on port 7, gig 1/0/8 and gig 1/0/7. So I'll just say port 7 and 8 because they all start with 1/0. All right, so it's only flapping on those two ports. And as we saw before in our show interface status, the router is connected on gig 1/01. So there is no flapping on that interface. So that's another way that confirms that interface going up to the router is good. All right, so the switch looks good. Connections look good. Nothing jumping out, no abnormal activity. So we'll go ahead and log into the router and see what's going on. Okay, so we're in the branch router. So we can let's run a show logs in the router. So we're going to do a show logging. Okay, so right away we see a lot of the same interface, gig 0/0/0, and the tunnel interface flapping multiple times in the logs. So if we run a show interface brief to look at the interface. Oh, I'm sorry. show IP interface brief because we are in the router, right? So most commands start with show IP. So we look at that. So the status on gig 0/0/0, the status is up. And we'll look at the tunnel 10, the status is up as well. So what we can also do, in a real Cisco switch, you'll be able to do a show interface descriptions or Cisco switch or router. But since we're limited in packet tracer, we can do a show interface and show interfaces, and that will show the interface, right? So we could take a look there as well. So looking at port 0/0/0, and this port is going to the ISP CE. So CE stands for customer edge device, right? So this is a device that the ISP installs at your office or your branch or your location, right? So this is the handoff right here. So we have the circuit ID for this circuit 004.118-84E1. So things are looking good here. We don't see any. Let's look at some input errors. No input errors, but we did see flapping earlier. So that might have been something going on earlier, but right now it looks steady. And we have the packet output. We don't have no output errors as well, no collisions. So that looks pretty good. But something is going on with this link. So let's check back with some of the users and see. So Alex was that Alex? Alex's continuous ping is steady. So let's look at Malik's computer. Oh, Malik dropped again. So Malik is dropping. Albert is dropping again. So we know something's going on the WAN side, because we just looked at the switch. Now we're looking at the router. We see the flapping on the interface going to the ISP device. So we looked at the interface, right? So that was the WAN interface going to the ISP. So we'll do a show login one more time. And then we'll look at this ticket again too, because most times in a ticket, if they don't have like the additional information, it says issue began earlier today. So we can reach back to the help desk and say, hey, excuse me. We can reach back to the help desk, say, hey, around what time did it start? And in real world devices, you'll be able to see the timestamps in the logs as well. So there'll be a timestamp right before this message appears. So we'll take that information, and at this point, the ticket will remain open. We will have to create a ticket with our ISP to investigate further. So we've confirmed the intermittent connectivity from both the users and the branch router is toward the provider side. So what we'll do when we open a ticket, we can attach screenshots of the failed pings and the logs, so we can give this to the ISP so they can investigate their equipment and the connection. Okay. So then, so that's it for this ticket. We narrowed it down to something's going on the WAN side, the ISP. The branch location, our network looks good, but something's going on the other side. So also remember, during troubleshooting, you still go through the layers, right? Step by step, instead of assuming where the issue is. So we check layer 1 by verifying the physical connections and the interface status on the switch. We check layer 2 by making sure the switch and the VLAN information was stable with no port issues or spanning tree issues, right? So then we went to layer 3, and that's when we found the intermittent connectivity between the branch and the ISP. So we saw the flapping of the WAN interface on the router going to the ISP earlier, and then we still see continuous drops. So even though the connections are green, we're still seeing continuous drops going out to the internet. But when we ping our local area network, our LAN, the gateway is on the router. So that never dropped. So that's a good sign for us, right? So we could tell our managers, directors, or whoever send that information up that our stuff is good, but something's going on in the ISP. So we gathered enough evidence. We're escalating it to the provider. And also remember, after you escalate, the troubleshooting process starts again from layer 1 on the provider side, because the issue could still be related to a physical circuit, the interface, the CE device, or something else, or another device upstream, right? So just because the physical layer on the inside looks good doesn't mean every physical layer connection on the outside is going to be verified, right? So you just got to trust the process. And I thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next ticket.